All right, today's lesson, which is 4.3, is over exponent rules. So, first I need to probably fill this in at the top so you know what the rules are. So anything to the first power is itself. So x to the first power is x. Anything to the 0 power is 1. You can cross off that second blank there. When you're adding, you're just combining like terms, so you can't add these two things together unless they have the same base and the same exponent, which they do. So we have 2x to the m. I can't add these two together because although they have the same base, they don't have the same exponents, so it's already simplified. Number 5, when you multiply, you're going to add your exponents. So it's xm plus n. When you divide, you're going to subtract your exponents. So you're just going to subtract the m and the n. Number 7, you're going to multiply your exponents. So x to the m times n. All right, number 8, if you were to put 0 to the 0 power in your calculator, it's either going to say error or something to that effect. So 0 to the 0 solution is undefined. There's actually no solution to that. And then the last 3 have negative exponents. You cannot have negative exponents. So whenever that occurs, you are going to flip the base. So if this is x over 1, I'm going to flip it to 1 over x. And then the exponent changes to a positive. This time the negative is on the bottom, so I'm going to move it to the top. And again, my exponent just becomes positive. Number 11, I'm going to flip my base so that fraction completely flips, and then my exponent changes to a positive. And those are the exponent rules. So now that we have all of that, let's take a look at, I'm going to skip 13 just because 13 and 15 are similar, and 15 is a little bit more difficult. So number 12. We are going to multiply. If I have one parenthesis next to each other, that means to multiply. So I'm going to multiply the -4 and the -2 to get positive 8. And then since these two have the same bases, I'm going to add their exponents. So since they have the same base, the base stays the same. I'm going to add the exponents, which is going to be 0. Well, that just cancels out, and I'm left with just 8. Because x, or anything to the 0 power, or x to the 0 power is 1. So if I have 8 times 1, that's just 8. Okay, 14. This time it's division. So I'm going to actually divide the numbers, but subtract the exponents. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then I'm going to take 7 minus -1. It's not 7 minus 1, it's 7 minus -1. Which actually becomes 8. So I have x to the 8th. And then I don't have any other y's besides a y to the 5th, so I'm just going to keep that the same. I don't have any negative exponents, so that is just my answer. Up here it says make sure you have positive exponents, so we have to watch for that. Okay, 15, I just have a parenthesis with an exponent on the outside, so that is like number 7 up here. I multiply the exponents. And I'm going to take every single one of these terms in there, or not a term, a base, and make sure they have an exponent. And I'm going to multiply the exponents. So I'm going to get 3 to the -3rd, x to the -12th, and y to the -15th. I cannot have any negative exponents. Well, they happen to all be negative, so they're all going to go to the bottom. And when I move them to the bottom, their exponent changes to a positive. And since there's nothing on top, I just put a 1 there. So that is my answer to number 15. Okay, over on the back. Let's see. I'm going to cross off 16. I'm going to cross off number 19, number 21, and 22. Okay. So, and 17 actually. 17 is like 20. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 left. So number 18, I have a couple things going on here. I have parentheses and I have division. If you're not sure where to begin, I would always get rid of your parentheses first. So I am going to multiply my exponents, and I'm going to get 12 squared, x to the 4th and y to the 12th. The bottom doesn't change, so I'm just going to write that down. Okay, so we're dividing. So we're going to divide our numbers, but subtract our exponents. Now I do have a 12 squared there, so I have to figure out what 12 squared divided by 8 is. Well, 12 squared is 144, and then that divided by 8 is 18. So I get 18. If I subtract my exponents, I get 0, so really that cancels out. And then 12 minus 7 is 5. I don't have any negative exponents, so that is as far as I need to go. Okay, number 20. Dividing, so I'm going to just subtract my exponents. The x squares can cancel out. I'm going to get y to the negative first. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And then I have a 4 minus negative 4, which is 8. So this time I have a positive exponent and a negative exponent. The positive exponent stays on the top, and the negative one goes to the bottom. And so that would be my final answer. And then finally 23. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of all my parentheses, or just my one parenthesis, and I'm going to put a 1 there. First thing I want to do is multiply the exponents. So I'm going to get negative 5. I'm going to keep that in parentheses because it's in parentheses in here. To the negative second, and then x to the 6th, y to the 4th, and z to the negative 8th. And then this I'm just going to bring down. Okay, now from here, they're all kind of smashed together. That means multiplication's going on. So let's take a look at the ones that are alike. Let's look at the x's first. So since the bases are the same, I keep the base the same, and I'm going to add the exponents. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Those are done. And that's really a y to the first. So y to the first plus y to the 4th is going to be y to the 5th. Again, I just add my exponents. I don't have any other z's, so I'm just going to bring my z to the negative 8th. And then I'm just going to bring these down for now. Okay, so far what I have, I need to rewrite this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that I have written down. So I'm going to go ahead and put all the ones with positive exponents on the top. So 10 x squared y to the 5th is going to go on the top. These two are going to go to the bottom. And then remember, when you put them on the bottom, the negative goes away. And then actually from here, there's one more thing I can do, maybe 2 more. Negative 5 squared is actually positive 25, so let me write that down. And then the last thing I want to do is simplify 10/25. So if I do 10 divided by 25 in my calculator, my graphing calculator, it's going to give you a decimal, and you want to change that to a fraction. So if you hit math, enter, enter, you're going to get 2/5. So this changes to a 2, and this changes to a 5. So my final answer is 2x squared y to the 5th, and then 5x to the 8th is my denominator. So that is my final answer to 23.